Hey class, happy Tuesday. I hope all is well. If your camera is moving, you're not going crazy. I am sitting on a hammock making this video. And this video, the aim of it is to help you with the 2.2 textbook reading and help you with the energy and matter worksheet. So, to start things off, our essential question: how does energy and matter move in an ecosystem? And it all starts with the sun. Okay, the sun is our energy source for all, well, 95% of ecosystems. There are some ecosystems deep down in the bottom of the ocean that rely on chemical energy coming from deep beneath the surface where the sun don't shine. But for 95% of ecosystems, the sun is its energy source. Now, I can't, if I get up off this hammock, and if I want to get some energy, I can't just go stand in the sun and just absorb all this energy. It doesn't work that way. So, we have to get that energy and turn it into something usable. And we use photosynthesis. So if you go back to October, you remember photosynthesis and chloroplast, and 6CO2 plus 6H2O turns into glucose and 6 oxygen. Okay, that is our chemical process that gets ecosystem energy started. Okay, so to get that awesome energy from the sun, we need photosynthesis. Okay, so we need producers like plants or any organism that uses the energy of the sun to produce usable forms of energy for the rest of an ecosystem. Okay, we also can call these as autotrophs. Okay, they're self-feeding. They can get their own energy from the sun. Now, examples of producers or autotrophs: forests, trees. They're great producers. They capture lots and lots of solar energy each year. The same with algae. You can have hundreds of miles of algae blooms in oceans and in lakes that absorb lots of solar energy, convert it into chemical energy for other organisms. Grasslands and kelp forests are other examples. Now, once that energy is captured from the sun and stored in a producer, that energy gets transferred just through eating. And anything that eats another organism we call a consumer. Okay, we can also call it a heterotroph too. So it consumes another organism for food. And we can break down consumers into a couple different categories. First, primary consumers consume producers. So in this slide I have caterpillars eating leaves, rabbits grazing on grasses, tortoises eating grass, and cows eating grass. Any organism that munches on another plant, another algae, a producer, is considered a primary consumer. Okay, our next type of consumer, you may also know as a carnivore. What we call them secondary consumers. They consume primary consumers. So they're eating another organism that's already eaten a producer. So a bird is eating a grasshopper that ate some grass. These foxes are eating a squirrel that was eating a plant. And then lizard eating a caterpillar that was eating a plant. Next are tertiary and quaternary consumers. These are the top dogs of the ecosystem. Okay, they're eating primary and secondary consumers. They're eating the things that are eating things that are eating things. Okay, so large birds of prey like osprey that are eating fish, that are eating smaller fish that ate algae. Mountain lions are eating deer. Okay, snakes are eating lizards that ate insects. Okay, so multiple levels of consumption and energy transfer going on. And of course, there's us, humans. Yes, yummy, yummy In-N-Out. Unfortunately, when you drive by In-N-Out, the line is about 3 blocks long, so I have not been able to partake in In-N-Out. But when we eat a cheeseburger, we're eating consumers and producers in the same bite. So that makes us an omnivore. So we kind of, humans and other omnivores, we blend the we blend and we blur the lines of producers and consumers, because we're doing both. All right, now two other types of consumers. First is a detritivore. So they consume dead organic material. They're kind of like scavengers. So little pill bugs, barnacles, and earthworms. So they are eating dead material. And then we also have decomposers. So decomposers are taking organic material and breaking it down into its elemental parts. So mushrooms and bacteria do this. Both detritivores and decomposers act as recyclers. So they're consuming dead stuff and they're recycling it so it can go back into the ecosystem. Okay, but they do not recycle energy. They can recycle nutrients, but energy is never recycled. It's a one-way road for energy, starting with solar energy, going to autotrophs, going to heterotrophs or consumers, and then going back out into the atmosphere, never to be used again. But that's okay, because the sun is such a large continuous source of energy. We can have this one-way street going of energy, and it will supply our needs. Now, when we think of energy for us, when we consume something, whether it's a producer or another consumer, we have to remember cell respiration and mitochondria. So again, going back to October, okay, in your cells you have mitochondria that are taking sugar and oxygen gas, and they are turning those into ATP, water, carbon dioxide, and then a lot of excess heat energy. Okay, and we do this because we can't use sugar in cell processes. ATP is like our cell battery that we use to do all sorts of cell functions, to power enzymes, to do repairs, to respond to the environment. Okay, but in the process of doing this, and this is not just us, but this is all organisms, okay, trees, mushrooms, animals, insects, they're all doing it. They're all doing cell respiration. They're all taking sugar, whether they made it or ate it, and breathing in oxygen gas, and pumping out ATP, water, and carbon dioxide, and heat. Okay, all organisms are doing this. Okay, and this transfer of energy, it's not perfect. So when a consumer eats a producer, when a consumer eats another consumer, when a detritivore and a decomposer do some recycling, the energy they pick up from that organism, it's not 100%. Okay, a lot of it's lost from cell respiration is heat energy. Okay, so I have a model of a plant, and light energy is coming in, and this plant's converting that light energy into glucose. Okay, and then that plant will use that glucose to do cell respiration, to grow, to respond to the environment, just to keep the cell going, normal cell processes. And in the process of doing all this, it's releasing heat energy. It's waste heat. It's imperfect. Okay, and if you thermal image an organism, or you thermal image a human, you'll see all that heat radiating off of us. Think about when you exercise and you get all hot and sweaty. Okay, you have a lot of heat, and that's because your body has been doing a ton of cell respiration, using a ton of energy, and when you're doing all that cell respiration, you're making all this heat. Okay, anytime you use energy, you use ATP through cell respiration, whether that's just keeping your cells healthy, you're moving around, you're running, you're trying to catch something if you're an animal, you're growing, you're responding to the environment. All of these processes release a lot of heat waste. Alright, so use this video to help you get started. I'm going to post another video that talks about energy pyramids. So when you get to the one model about an energy pyramid, or in the textbook reading with energy pyramids, watch the next video. Okay, bye class.